The wish to know who we are is one of the most fundamental questions for every spiritual seeker. It's often the first question that someone is confronted with when coming into the spiritual teachings. Who are you? That question runs very deep because it has no straightforward answer. We believe it's the most simplest question in the world, but when we go deeper, we understand that there's no simple answers. It's very hard to grasp. Who are you beyond your story, beyond your thoughts, beyond your body? Who is that? That question brings me to the topic of why we look for love, because it's actually one and the same. Before we even come to the question of who we are, we seek love because we have forgotten that we are love. And the seeking of love is really a desire for a homecoming to remember who you are. That sounds a little bit strange at first. How could that be? Or what does that mean? But really, it's very simple. From the mind's perspective, it really does not make sense. If you just clear the heart and you ask yourself, why should I love another? From the mind's perspective, the answer is, I shouldn't, because it's not serving me. The mind is really for protection and for service to this self. But then it may say, well, I may want to love another because if I'm sick, maybe they will help me, right? So self-preservation, it's a good idea. But if you clear the mind completely, what is left there? When a mom looks at the baby's eyes and she sees her own reflection, there's no need to fall in love. Immediately, love appears, right? There's a deep knowing that this baby is you. So love is to recognize yourself in another. And it happens when we clear the mind from the foreground. When we clear the mind from the foreground, we recognize ourselves. And then from that place, we feel the love that we are. We feel that everything aligns, everything connects. And then love makes sense. And how can you know this for sure? Because when you, in the presence of love, when you see your own reflection in someone's eyes, then really the feeling that you're home, you have arrived. There's no more seeking, no more questions. It feels so good, so wonderful that there's really nothing else to go for, right? There's no questions. The question, who are you in this moment, does not matter because you are really just bathing in your own essence. It's a homecoming. And all the problems of relationship really start when we lose that touch, right? There's a first moments of connection when you really, really recognize that, but then the mind kicks in. We create fears of how the future will unfold, right? When you put a future on someone, and of course there's no future, right? There's always presence. You are attaching yourself to some illusionary moment where things will be as your mind wishes to be. And if life does not unfold that way, you lose yourself to that future. You keep bending the wheel of the universe to try to make that future. And this is where suffering begins. When we allow ourselves to be dynamic, to be present, all right, no future, just presence. What is alive in me today? What is the love that I feel today? Do I feel expanded? Do I feel like this is home? You stay. But if you don't feel that, why create a future? So love is a homecoming to the place that was never lost, just masked when we are drowned in what the mind tells us life is, when the mind creates those divisions between me and you. We look at ideals, at movies, and how things should be, how society dictates what love should be. And we attach ourselves to that. That's the hardest conditioning to break, is the conditioning around relationships and love, because it was founded on the idea of protection. Right? The institute of marriage is the idea that we have to create this foreverness. And since we don't know what will be in the future, we try to protect it with rules and regulations, with how it should be, it could be. What we imagine would make us happy. Losing the present moment, losing the simple joy of being alive and looking in someone's eyes and saying, you are me. So this is a short rant. I hope it was meaningful and interesting. from the book Conscious Relationship. As you can see, it's a very thin book because probably thousands of books were written on this topic. But love shouldn't be complicated. It should be as simple as reading a few pages, opening a few moments, a few movements in your heart, recognizing which direction it's pointing to. And it's always pointing to the present moment. So if the teaching is always pointing to the present moment, where does love point to? It couldn't point to another direction. But why does it always create struggles and problems and drama in interpersonal relationship? It's because we have forgotten what love is.